Hey golfers, today I'm going to share with you some amazing tips to help you when you're training in the gym. So these are my top 5, really top 5 basics. If you're a golfer and you're looking to get stronger, faster, and perform better, this is where you need to start. Number 1, okay? This is the most important thing. We need to address mobility. Most golfers, they'll go to the gym like 3 or 4 times a week. They'll work on strength training, they'll train cardio, they'll work their core, but they don't address rotational mobility. This is the most important thing you can do for yourself as a golfer. We have 4 main rotary centers: your neck, your shoulders, your spine, and your hips. If you can't rotate enough in all 4 of those areas, your swing's going to suffer and your body is going to compensate in your swing. So if you don't know if your rotational mobility is accurate or if it's passing the standard, go to the home assessment. I've got the link in the description. Free home assessment. You can find out actually where your rotational mobility is at. So make sure you assess before you just start guessing about your training so you can know exactly what you need to work on. So number 2 is going to be training for strength. So a lot of golfers I talk to all the time will say, well, what do you tell me? What do you do when you go to the gym? I'll say, well, I do 3 sets of 10 of this, 3 sets of 10 of this, 3 sets of 10 of this exercise for my chest or for my back or for my legs. So first off, when we're training to get strong, and golfers need to be strong, the golf swing, it's an all-out sprint. It happens in less than 2 seconds, and it's an all-out effort. Now, there's several minutes between each swing, so you've got time to recover, but it's a purely anaerobic sport. A lot of golfers are trained in the 10 to 15 rep range at not a really high intensity level. So if you want to maximize distance and your durability as a golfer, we need to be strong. So I usually will tell golfers, the stronger you get, it's like putting a bigger set of brakes on your car. It's like putting armor on before you go into battle. It's going to ensure your durability. So you want to be working in that 3 to 6 rep range for a lot of your training, to actually, with heavier weights, to build up your overall strength. That brings me to point 3. Really, really important to train your tempo of your exercises. There are 3 phases to an exercise, okay? In terms of movement, we think of a squat. The eccentric phase is the lowering phase to the bottom position of a squat. The middle phase is what we call the isometric phase, and the finish of the exercise, when we're contracting the muscles, is the concentric phase. So you need to train all 3 ranges of motion or phases of that exercise for some time period. You probably want to devote at least 4 weeks to eccentric training, where you're lowering yourself in a squat position, loaded for 5, 6, 7 seconds to get to the bottom, then drive up. So that'd be your eccentric. Your isometric, we get to the bottom, we hold for 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, even 5 seconds under load, then drive up. And on your concentric, when we're trying to get faster, all right, then you're going to squat down and drive up. Really work on the speed of the motion, okay? So once you've got the technique down, modify your tempo under load to get stronger. Again, in that 3 to 6 rep range is going to be key. Next one after tempo is going to be, how intense are you working? And a lot of golfers who aren't gym people, this is the critical mistake they make. They're like, they got a 15 or 20 pound dumbbell doing some goblet squats. And I said, well, how many more reps do you think you could have done? Oh, I don't know, maybe a few. And I'll ask them, I'll press them on it. Like, if you really, if you had to do, if your life depended on it, how many more reps do you think you could have done? And they'll say, well, I don't know, probably 8 or 10. That means you're not lifting enough weight. You should be working at like a 7 out of 10 scale. 10 out of 10 is you're basically hitting failure. You aren't able to complete the rep. 9 out of 10 is you complete a rep, but there's no way you could do another one. So 7, 8 out of 10 is basically putting yourself at an RPE, that's the rate of perceived exertion scale. An RPE scale is like, yeah, it's about 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 in terms of intensity. You can also talk about what we call reps in reserve. So I kind of alluded to that before. That's asking yourself, how many more reps could I have done if I really, really had to? If you're bringing yourself to the point of failure. I'm not saying you need to work to failure, but I'm saying you should be approaching failure. 1 to 2 reps. Really be honest with yourself. And if you say, I could have done 3, 4, maybe 5 reps if I had to, then you need to increase the load. So we should be working probably at an RIR, reps in reserve, of 1 to 2 reps in reserve with good form, okay? And you need to be working to that intensity level. and think of it as how many more could I do if I absolutely had to, if my life depended on it. Then you'll notice you're actually lifting more weight, you're gonna get stronger and faster. Last one is nutrition and supplementation. Okay, this is so key because if you don't give your body the raw materials to build muscle, it's not gonna happen, okay? So simple breakdown for people. Take your body weight, okay? Shoot for that many grams of protein in a day. Most of you won't come close to that. If you actually counted the grams of protein, you'll be shocked how little protein you may be consuming. So make sure you're consuming minimum half your body weight in protein in terms of grams of protein. So if you're a 200-pound person, shoot for 200 grams of protein. If you get 150 grams, that's probably pretty good. If you can get to 200, assuming this is your working out. If you're not working out, you're probably going to gain some weight. But if you're consuming that amount of protein, actually, let me take that back. If you just consume that amount of protein and don't consume a lot of extra carbohydrate, you'll probably actually lose weight. But if you fill up on a lot of extra carbohydrate, like bread, pasta, rice, all the starches, if you fill up on that stuff and you don't get enough protein, that is a surefire recipe for weight gain. Carbohydrates an energy source. Think about your macros. You got protein, carbohydrate, fats. Okay, we need to get protein in first. That's priority number one, and fats. Then you can get your carbs. So start with a protein, shoot for 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Moving on to hydration and sleep, simple calculation. Half your body weight, that's how many ounces of water minimum you should be drinking in a day. Important to stay hydrated. If you're a little bit dehydrated, your power production is going to go down. So when you're golfing, make sure you're really well hydrated, especially even the day before. You want to think about start drinking lots of water so the next day you're ready to go. And lastly, your sleep. You want to be making sure you get minimum 7-8 hours of sleep every night. That's especially after your workout. In your sleep is when your body recovers. Sleep is really free medicine for your body. That's when your body does its restoration, its repair. Make sure you're getting to sleep on a regular basis. That's 7 to 8 hours of sleep, especially on the days after you work out. Your body will thank you for it. Those are my top 5. I hope you guys found them all helpful, and I'll see you next time.